All right, guys, Steve O'Connor. I'm back with you. Listen, I've never explained this before, but I'm going to explain the Richard Cranium of reality if the few of you out there don't get it. Some of the younger generation may not get it because the nickname for Richard is Dick, and then of course cranium is a reference to your head. So obviously the dickhead of reality. Why do I say that? Because a lot of the stuff that I'm going to comment on, well, bottom line is in the Aussie format, I'm going to be a dickhead about explaining a lot of this stuff, right? And my Aussie buddies out there, I love them. Anyway, so I'm going to comment about things that are, of course, off color. Oftentimes, they are not politically correct. But I'm going to highlight a lot of reality for you. That is my purpose, is not just watching videos, but to shed light on why these problems are going on, how we solve them, and what people are thinking while they're doing them. And of course, the unintended versus intended consequences and things that fall out from it. So, anyway, this is another Minneapolis protest that's going on over the shooting of that. All I can say is I feel bad for the family. I think I heard she had 3 kids, but for that moron that's out there doing things that have nothing to do with what she should be doing, which is being at home and being a mother, maybe a wife. I don't know. She's probably a single mom if she was that retarded. But anyway, I'm going to play this video and we're going to go forth.
Meantime, Bailey, protests continue in Minneapolis in response to the killing of Renee Good last week. An anti-ICE protest took an escalated turn when federal agents used tear gas and pepper spray to clear the streets. A witness says it all started when an agent allegedly rear-ended.
So one of those things that I get tired of is constantly people saying a protest turns into a situation where they're using tear gas or pepper spray. If tear gas and pepper spray has been deployed, it is no longer a protest, folks. It's simple as that. It's a reasonable equation. When you have a peaceful protest, there's no reason to use pepper spray or tear gas. That means that it has devolved into something that is unreasonable, something that has been deemed maybe not on the level of a riot, but an unlawful assembly. As I've explained to a lot of you out there, if you didn't know, I have past experience, 17, 18 years as a police officer. So you have to understand that when you protest, it is to be peaceably. It is not to infringe on the rights of others. It is not to block streets or block the free rights of others. Again, people's freedom to move around is part of the Bill of Rights. You have the right to freely move about and not have somebody stop your progression. You eliminate emergency vehicles from getting through. You eliminate ICE or other police vehicles from doing the job that they're supposed to do. You harm businesses and other things by crowding the streets and creating something that is considered undesirable for most people that walk down the street. They're not only not going to walk there, they're not going to take their family there, they're not going to participate in businesses. So this excrement, these morons that are on the street protesting, what they're protesting for, I guarantee you they don't know. They just simply say they hate ICE. They know nothing of what ICE does. They do not know that they protect them. They don't know that they apprehend criminal offenders, get illegals out of the country, people are harming the country, all the way down to your tax dollars. While these morons go out there and they protest, and many other people sit by and they let it happen, or they don't care, or the police don't seem to care because they've been told to stand down, guess what happens? There's damage. The damage has to be cleaned up. The tax dollars pay the price for that. And guess what? If you live in that city, you are vicariously paying through your tax dollars for these morons to go out there and F up your streets and cause a civil disturbance, turn it into an unlawful assembly, cause injuries. And guess what else happens? All those ICE guys are funded by the federal government. Every time injuries occur, same thing. It is diverted funds going into something that shouldn't have to be, because officers go out every day and they should not have to worry about being injured. There is the danger of being injured, but that shouldn't be just an expectation, okay?
Someone's car. The driver of that car spoke to NBC News and said the agents had been following him and questioned his immigration status. Now the city is suing the Trump administration because of the growing number of officers there. The mayor says the lawsuit isn't to stop agents from their legal duty, but to hold them accountable.
The point of this lawsuit.
So immigration following a car, first of all, that's the whole standard before of we get one simple statement about what's wrong, right? Oops, sorry, I'm smacking the computer. I shouldn't do that. We get one simple statement, and it's one segment that's going to state exactly that this guy's been followed. And of course, the statement that they get is from the guy himself that was followed, where he's going to say they were following and asking about his immigration status. Why did they follow him? What probable cause did they have? What caused them to lock in on his car and follow him? Did they already have a warrant for his arrest? Was he already a wanted person? Did he fit a description? Did he do some sort of actions or movements that were illegal that drew attention, whether it's a vehicle code section or something else? Was he participating in an unlawful assembly earlier? Oh, gee, I wonder if this guy was actually throwing things at the ICE officers, committing other crimes, maybe possibly assault. There's a myriad of reasons why these guys would have followed him. But of course, the news media does their due diligence. Instead of getting both sides, what do? They go out there and they interview the one guy. And of course, what does he get to say? His side of the story. And I've said all the time as a cop, there's three sides to a story: one side, the other side, and the truth in the middle. You have to get all the parameters before you make a snap judgment. So, why were they following him? We don't know that. It's not explained yet. But since they were asking about his immigration status, the logic follows that that is something they would do since they're ICE.
It was never to stop federal agents from doing their legal actions or
Bullshit.
the work within their legal limits. It is the fact that they are not complying with our U.S. Constitution and states' rights and also their own federal policies. I mean, this is to hold them accountable. They are terrorizing our neighborhoods and our communities, and that they have to be held accountable.
Okay, so you think of an official that says this. I've talked oftentimes, well, maybe not specifically on my channel yet, but I'm going to, about all of these officials. They swear an oath to uphold the laws in their city and the laws of their state and the Constitution, the US Constitution. Okay, so they swear to uphold all laws. They are voted into office and they are meant to have a clean background. If you have felonies in your background, oftentimes you're barred from holding office, or you can be impeached if you are in office. So think about this. You have officials in the city who then go out there and spout this kind of bullcrap and rhetoric. We're going to sue the Trump administration. Oftentimes, these states first declare themselves a sanctuary city. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you're ever sworn in as a representative or as any elected official and say, we're a sanctuary city. We protect people that entered our country illegally, commit illegal crimes, and then we're going to continue to harbor them here as if they're some model citizen we want. We do not. And these people that actually go out as officials and then spout out this kind of rhetoric saying that the ICE is terrorizing our streets, that is one of the biggest slap in the face to law enforcement. I've told you guys in previous videos, I don't know if anybody understands the background and how difficult it is to become a law enforcement officer in the United States. It is incredibly difficult. You must have a pristine background. So the aspects that you have to think about here is these people go out here and they say horrific things about law enforcement. But then, of course, remember, they'll have armed, uniformed police taking care of them. Not all of them. It depends on the level of government. But oftentimes they do. And then they stand there on camera and insult the officers to their face, call them terrorists, say they're terrorizing the people on the street, all that. That's not what's happening. What is terrorizing the people on the street is the people here illegally and committing a bunch of crimes. They are terrorizing you by destroying your tax dollars. Your tax dollars are diverted from resources they should go to take care of illegals. Your resources that you should have are not properly balanced because you don't have sufficient police, fire, medical, parks, schools, teachers. It goes on and on. Those resources are meant to be for the legal population. But of course, we know that they're going to count the illegals in the census because that gives Congress power. But this is what they're doing, and it's hurting the people on the street. When these officials make these statements, you can oftentimes have them embolden these idiots that are out there that are oftentimes pure impulse, and they go out there and they commit serious crimes that cost the city money, that cost the tax dollars, or cost the taxpayer money, because you pay your taxes. You live in that city. You have to think about the people you're electing that go out there, and instead of saying, hey, there needs to be an investigation, once the investigation is complete, whether it's district attorney's office, well, they almost always get involved, especially in any use of force. District attorney's office, state attorney's office, FBI may be involved in this. Actually, they will be, of course, because it was a federal officer that shot the lady. This stuff's going to be investigated. If the officer is found to be in the wrong about this situation, he can be put in prison. He can be charged with crimes. He can be sued civilly. He can be fired from the department. His life will be upside down. It'll be completely as destroyed as anybody who ever got dead. Bottom line, It's going to screw him up immensely. But for people to go out in the street and just protest and then it devolve into riotous situations, it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't solve anything. It will not change one single thing, other than the knee jerk liberals who then go off to Congress who try to say we need to defund ICE. But remember, folks, they've set the budget. These guys are out doing the job that they've actually pulled the purse strings for them to do. But then they go onto camera and they lie to your face and tell you that they're against they're against ICE. And they don't care about the illegal immigrants that are here. They just want a better life. They just want to work. They're going to sell you all that line of bullshit. Anyway, let's continue.
Local businesses there and restaurants in Minneapolis are also feeling the heat from the federal operation. Residents say the spots that usually are packed at lunchtime are deserted and closed, all during one of the slowest times of the year for business.
And now not only are employees afraid to come to work, but customers are afraid to come to the restaurants. So it is absolutely brutal right now. With COVID, we all knew, like, oh, we got to come together. These guys are in trouble. I don't know if people realize quite how dire the circumstances right now for restaurants.
Okay. Why is it dire? Well, one, you as a restaurant, most restaurants everywhere around the nation are dying. They're continuing to raise minimum wage. There are a lot of states that actually have buffers against, unlike California, where minimum wage has gotten crazy, $17 an hour. There are a lot of states that allow their people to be paid below $10 an hour for their waiters, their servers, and all that because they know that they exist on tips. So that makes up for their wages. Oftentimes they make above minimum wages. By the way, before becoming a police officer, I was in the service industry for years. I was a waiter. I did bartending. I understand that. I made a much better living than most of my friends because of the tips. So restaurants are going to be down right now because of taxes, the economy. And of course, when you fill the street with idiots, just like what I said earlier, and those idiots are causing problems and havoc, and tear gas is being deployed and pepper spray. I don't know how many of you people have ever been tear gassed or pepper sprayed. We have to be in the police department. You have to get it when you go through training. It is not fun. You feel like you're breathing fire. No one's going to go to a restaurant with children when there are idiots outside causing these kinds of problems. Is there an investigation process? Of course, like I just stated. Could you just let the investigation ride itself out and then see where that falls in terms of whether or not the officer will be disciplined or not? And even if he's not, and it's justified as a good shooting, which I believe it will be, does that warrant burning down your city or causing all the problems that the people are causing? It will not change what ICE is doing. It will not change them going after and apprehending the offenders. That restaurant may be hurting, or a lot of restaurants are, like I said, because there's disorder in the streets. And the economy is already bad. Restaurants everywhere are suffering. Newsflash for most people, 1 out of every 2 restaurants usually go under in the first year or 2 years. Many of them don't have good food. Many of them have too high of prices. Many of them have very poor management or lack of consistency. I could go on and on about why restaurants go under, but this idiot sitting on there saying, oh, the restaurants are dying because ICE is out there enforcing the law. That's not why. It has nothing to do with ICE. If every officer in that city was driving around doing their job and there's no protesters on the street, then you couldn't blame the police for 1 single second about your business or lack thereof. So your loss of business is not related to ICE doing their job. It's related to idiots and morons on the street that are protesting ICE doing their effing job. So, of course, you as a restaurateur, if you got a grip in life and you guys were supportive of ICE and not supportive of the idiots in the street, actually on the side of law enforcement, what a shock that is, America. If you were on that side, then maybe you wouldn't have morons in your street effing up your business.
Residents say they're concerned for the community as they all navigate what to do next.
Okay. That pretty much ends it. That's the end of my video. Hope you all like this. Comment, subscribe, forward. I appreciate all that stuff. Trying to get going here. Trying to do all the common sense. And of course, like I said, when I point out the Richard Cranium of reality, yeah, I'm going to be a dickhead about a lot of things. I'm just going to state the obvious, and it's not always fluffy, and people aren't going to always like it. And I don't care if certain people don't like it. You liberals are a complete boil on the ass of society. Not all of you liberals, by the way. Some of you are just dumb, most of you, and you have these wonderful utopian ideas that are not based in reality. However, you have a right to think them. It's when you go out and you screw up the streets or you follow around law enforcement and you do the actions that you guys actually commit, that's where the problem lies. So, hope all of you like this. Do me a favor. Again, forward, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Give me comments. I will try my best to answer all the comments or give you a response if it's warranted. Some of you just may want to comment yourself, add your 2 cents. That's totally okay. I don't have to comment on somebody else's comment. I just appreciate people participating. Bear in mind, again, like I've said before, I'm also a certified sommelier. I have my own business called The Fuzzy Cork. You want to book me for wine parties? I'm happy to do so. Go to thefuzzycork.com. And it's actually, there's a link at the bottom of my page. So if you do that, uh, you can look up my stuff there. You're always welcome to get in contact with me and book me for a party if you wish. Hope everybody's doing well. Take care. Until next time.